So we were gonna do something a little bit different today, because I don't really want it to just be sermons like I've been saying the whole time. I don't want to just sermon, y'all listen, and then go on about the week. I do want it to be discussions and conversations. So today we're trying a little different. And everyone that is in the FC house is in Discord, looks like. So yeah, I don't know how we would do this in Say if you can't copy paste the discussion stuff and Say, hey Hayden. So
yeah, I don't have a workaround for that. That's Yoshi P saying no.
Yeah.
We need to hire a stenographer.
Too much chatting. So anyway, this is our fourth launch, soft launch. We were thinking about doing an official launch next month, but we decided we're gonna hold off and try a few different things, to figure out what we want to do in here. And so for those that are gonna be watching this recording later, anyone new to our community, we are a part of VR MMO Church, which is a real church that is digital only, that launched in 2016 in VR. And our vision is cultivate a loving spiritual community across the metaverse. And we believe that church can happen anytime and anywhere. Jesus says in Matthew 18:20, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there with them." So that means that church isn't a physical building, and it's not just meetings that we have on the weekends and then go about our lives. It's a community of people that are gathered together, worshiping God together, and doing life together and serving God together. And so, like I said, we do want a different kind of church than what you're used to seeing out in the physical world. We want it to be casual discussions and conversations and questions and playing together. So the ground rules are still the same. So being nice to each other, be respectful, don't interrupt or talk over others, and no hate speech of any kind. And we each have a part to play in cultivating loving spiritual communities. So I am later going to open it up to questions to other people, but first I wanted to talk about last week's service, about the topic of love. And so for context, in 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7, Paul describes love as patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude, and it doesn't demand its own way. It's not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. And love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. So, and the word that is used for love in the New Testament is agape, which is a divine love that persists and transcends regardless of circumstance. And it involves a choice and an unwillingness to abandon. So how does this change or clarify your own perception of love, or even society's view of love? Anyone?
I'm kind of processing it. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. So you're asking,
Yeah.
like, sorry, can you ask the question again then?
How does this change or clarify your own perception of love, or even society's view of love? If you,
I guess, yeah, I know that. I mean, when you mention agape, it's also a selfless love, where there's no expectation to receive back. Because what is it? The Greek language has multiple words for love, and agape is the one that is often used. Actually, is the main one that's used for God's love.
Right.
And it's a very rare love that it's incredibly hard for humans to be able to like do naturally.
Yeah.
And even if we say that, like, when you love someone, be like, oh, I don't expect anything like that. But we often expect, like, at least recognition, or at least, you know, some kind of response to that love.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's purely like, it's a love that his natural is not our natural, and it's hard for us to truly comprehend it. But it's something we should strive to still.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, words.
Yeah, it's impossible for us to do without him helping us to do that. Yeah.
I was kind of gonna go that way with it. Just like, I think the difference could be made at something like, you think of like your significant other or something. You're like, I love them, but if suddenly they stop doing everything they do and decided I'm laying on the couch all day doing nothing, and you just you're like, get out. I don't care.
Yeah.
If there's a possible way for you to, like, there's a certain level where you just stop loving people.
Yeah, because they're not doing what you expect them to do. Yeah. So Tora
Hi,
types.
Wendell, by the way.
Hello and hello. I can't hear when people pop in, but so I'm gonna read Toro's response real quick, and then I'll give you context to where we are. So Toro says, "I think God's love is steadfast and unwavering, whereas love in society, I often see if it's to be quite fickle and dependent on what we get out of it." Yeah. So Wendell, we're talking about last week's service. So we're just talking about love and the definition of God's love versus society's love, and the question was, how does this change or clarify your own perception of love?
Well, I would say it just more goes back to what Paul was talking about. I think either 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians.
Yes, where he was kind of saying how love is patient, love is kind.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how I see it. Whereas what we might often define as love is just more, not really how what God would see. And it's oftentimes that we can all fall to that path. We're all flawed beings.
Yeah.
That's also why we just need to just keep doing our best, keep trying no matter what, not just letting things fall by the wayside.
You broke up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying that when it comes to God's love, he doesn't really let things just go by the wayside. He doesn't go by the wayside. It's awesome why he basically said, as God so loved the world, or in many occasions the church itself, that he would give Jesus going to provide those who would believe, who would follow him even up to the point of death, would be saved. It was only by those being truly loved by God, who seeks his love, who wants his love, that those who can find it will be saved. Of course, with how society makes it seem more of love is more that emotional, and many a time just sexual high that some people can just get at a certain moment and not really think about it.
Yeah, a
But
lot of people
that
do
is-
view it that way.
But that's just how I see it.
Yeah. We have to receive his love and accept his love before we can share that love with anyone else. Did anyone else
Yeah.
have any thoughts?
I had found some DTS notes from when I did a YOM, and like reading through them again, like finding like on the specific notes on love, or at least ones that the page that I turned to. Like a nice little note that I read. I think it was like one of the first sentences. Was like, God loves us so much that he refuses to leave us as we are.
Yeah.
He is much more committed to us than we are. So, you know how like we just tend to get lazy and into like our situations where we're just like just becomes so complacent.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go out of his way to go combat that and try to like take care of us, even when we
Yeah.
don't want to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
A nice little tidbit is he is militant towards things that draw us away from him,
Yeah.
such as sin, fears, forces that would interfere. He not only is he's a caring father, but he's also a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yeah.
his love.
Yeah, and that was actually something that I was going to talk about next time, but I think it's probably a good time to talk about now.
Okay.
There is in Exodus 34:6, it talks about his loyal love, and the word that is for that is chesed, the original Hebrew. And there's no comparable word in any other language for that. It doesn't translate into any other language. The closest that you can get to it, I mean, agape is what they use in Greek, and there's another word in Greek that they use for it, but I can't remember. I think it's more along the lines of mercy. But this word that's used, chesed, is a word that assumes a pre-existing relationship, and it refers to actions that demonstrate loyalty to that relationship, and it's a posture of preservation and protection. So like you were saying, he's gonna fight, and that's with the goal of helping that relationship flourish and that person become more of the person that he knows they can be. And so he's gonna not leave us where we are because he loves us too much. We like to often think, okay, he loves me just like I am, so I'm good. Not gonna try any harder. But that's not really where he wants us to be. He wants us to be the best us. He wants us to be he knows who we can be. We have no idea who we can be. With him, we can be much more than we are. And he wants to help us to get there. And that's also, he's wanting to help us work towards the betterment of us and the salvation from our sins. So yeah, he's not just gonna leave us where we are. But we also have to help. We have to do our own part. We have to let him work in us, and that's really hard. Did y'all have thoughts on that?
Yeah. What is it? I like to think God of initially a nasty looking hound, big, strong, and scary. Just like pummeling down towards us, just like kind of like full force chasing us. And so we fear him and don't want him to catch us at first.
Like a Great Dane.
It's like a aggressive Great Dane, just kind of like
those things those are taller than me.
Yeah,
they're taller than me.
And you can just see the power in them. But then so like you're afraid of them, and then you're afraid of him, and you just want to run away, and just like you don't know how to handle it. But then once you surrender and just like open up your arms, he becomes a excited, precious little puppy, fluffy and full of love, wanting to cuddle. You know, just like he's there. You know, he's strong, but he's also kind and sweet and comforting.
Yeah, that's cute. A good analogy, because I'm usually not afraid of dogs, but Great Danes. I was walking down the street in a neighborhood I used to live in, and they had 2 Great Danes, and they wanted to come say hi, and I was like,
It's like one steppy from that puppy, I'm going down. That's a big boy.
Yeah.
I see that a lot with people in pit bulls. I think that they're gonna eat them, and like the eyeball.
Yeah. Did anyone else have any thoughts on that one?
I had an extension on the father figure thing, but I feel that it would be reiterating what's already been said.
Yeah, the parents' love for their child. That was another thing that I was gonna talk about too, because there's this great deep love, and one of the root words used for compassion in that same Exodus reference is the word compassion. The original word for that is actually rooted from a word that means womb, which means this is a parental love for a child. So it's pretty interesting the words that they use to describe him in the original Hebrew.
I was just gonna jump off of how Vivi said the father figure plus militant thing. I don't know if anybody else has had this experience, but if you have a good father, they are militant anyways. Towards
Mhm.
if somebody comes towards you, they're like, I'll snap them in two. So
Don't mess with my kids. Yeah.
that's kind of, I see it with God. It's just like, well, yeah, he's real nice until you do something wrong, like to the kids, and then yeah, you're getting stomped.
Yeah.
I always say myself this is that kind of a way to like take criticism as well. It's not only like applies to how to view God's quote unquote punishment, but also like how take criticism. People when they care, they'll tell you when something is wrong. When they don't care is when they ignore you.
Yeah.
And so long as there's an open conversation, like they care, even if they're saying mean things to you, even if they're like I mean, I guess we can tell the difference with like people when it's turning like pure maliciousness, but like when there's like actual criticism, don't there's no need to like snap back. Just like with God, if you feel a pressure on your heart that like something that you're doing isn't good, listen to it and do your best to like figure yourself out and how to
Yeah.
either give it up to God to have him deal with it, or have him direct you in the best way to combat your weaknesses.
Yeah. He knows the state of our hearts, and so he's the best one to ask. So, like in Psalm 139, David was always praying to God. It's like, you've looked deep into my heart, and you know all about me. Search me and know my heart, and try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. It's like he's saying, if we ask, he's asking sincerely, and we need to ask sincerely. Show us what we need to see so that our hearts will change to be more like yours. And yeah. Did anyone else have any thoughts on that?
I'm just gonna say, if criticism is love, Duty Finder really loves me.
So there's a difference in criticism and critique.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, not the greatest at explaining things. you can get the gist of the spirit of it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So I was gonna move on to the next question if nobody else had anything. So, we as Final Fantasy players want rewards for doing quests and helping the people in the game. And we're always complaining, I'm kind of busy saving the world right now. Why do I have to do all these quests? But in contrast, Jesus lived his life full of helping others. He was the full embodiment of God's love. And he was helping others willingly, and all the while still working towards his ultimate goal of saving the world. And his definition of love is that of a choice and an action, and not just an emotion. What can we learn from this in our everyday lives, or even here in game? How can we love others the way he's loved us?
Did you just say Jesus approves of side quests?
Yeah, I did. I did. Jesus approves of side quests. He was doing them all the time.
I mean, Jesus, well, I guess you could say that playing things are just, we're not like his plan.
What was that? Didn't hear the last few words.
I was saying that some things are just not part of like what he is meant to do. He has the ability to pretty much do a lot of things, but as he told Mary when she asked him to pretty much make that wine, as he said, especially mom, like, do I really need to do this when you know what my true purpose is.
Well,
But
he was saying it's not the time to start doing public miracles yet because there was a
I'm
certain
saying
time
not
frame.
like I'm saying not like I don't have to. No, I shouldn't have to do it, but with more. Yes.
What?
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
I will be right back.
Okay. Anyone else? He went away. He'll be back.
Oh, Toru.
Okay, Toru says, be patient with others and be willing to spend time helping others and spending time chatting with others, even if there's no direct benefit to yourself. Yeah, exactly. And I personally, I'm an introvert, so spending time with people is difficult because it can be exhausting, especially when I'm already tired. So for me, making that effort to spend time with people, it has to not just be when I feel like it, because honestly, as an introvert, that's rare that I do feel like it. So I have to get beyond that and spend time with people anyway and get beyond myself. And I have seen over, I was telling Vivi this the other day, like a few years ago, I scored 30 out of 30 in an introversion test, but I took the test again this year, and it was more like 75% introverted instead of 100%. So I think part of that is God changing me to be more willing to talk to others and work with others, because it is rewarding in different ways. Like, even if they're not doing anything for me in return, there's still like a spiritual reward to that, being able to help others and being able to see their lives change for the better or whatever by helping them. That is a different kind of reward than what we're used to. Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, spending time with people, even if there's not much going on, maybe they needed that time with someone.
Yeah.
It's an expression of love.
Yeah.
It could be a way that God's using you to be an expression of love of Him.
Yeah. Because a lot of people in life and in game are lonely, and they need others around them. And we all get lonely, I'm sure. So, yeah, spending time with each other, even when we don't feel like it, good for everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a complete hermit.
Well, I didn't say
Yeah.
I didn't say I leave my house. Toro says, I'm pretty introverted, but I've been pushing myself to be more social. It's a big push. It's good work in progress. Feel the burn,
Yeah.
feel the burn, feel the pain.
I say my problem is I don't know how to socialize without being like a complete degenerate. Like, socialization I've ever done since I was a kid was either doing drugs or drinking. So it's like I just don't do that to stay away from that stuff now.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: you're in a video game.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to physically do any of that stuff.
Yeah. Although we do have coke in the chest.
Yeah. And you gotta also like think that you do have a testimony. Like you do understand people that are in that place that you were once at one point. Like,
Yeah.
obviously we still want to strive to be more Christ-like. However, I feel like I'm not gonna stress out if I swear in front of people. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
please
stress
don't.
out. Yeah, I feel more important than anything else is being able to spend time with people and to show them kindness
Yeah,
in however way we're able to express it.
yeah. And there's also a very good place for you, I think, Hayden, because you have that experience that you're able to relate to certain people more than others. Like, way more than I'd be able to.
Yeah, I get along with crackheads real good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, that is a very good thing, and that's not a joke. That's a very good thing.
Jesus needs crackheads in his family too.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Does
loves
he want him to be doing crack all the time?
he
No.
loves the
but
crackheads.
He loves the crackhead. Yeah.
and he loves them so much that he doesn't want to leave them where they are.
Love the crackhead, not the crack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. But there is one thing that y'all are just bringing up all the things I was going to bring up if I'd done a sermon. So this is funny. So this is working fine. There was one thing that I did want to point out about that statement, love the sinner, hate the sin. So I'm going to talk a little quick about sin in general. So there are a lot of religious words that are used in the church and that seem ancient and backwards, and sin is one of those words. And I personally don't like using that word because today we tend to use it as a way to judge others when we as humans have no business judging anyone for anything they've done. Because we've done things ourselves. They're just different things. And so the word that is originally used in the Hebrew for sin is the word chata, which is to fail or miss. It's not even a religious word. It is an everyday word that they used, much like we would use it for archery or for ranged weaponry. It's about missing the target, and the target. And since we've been talking about love being the greatest command all this time, the greatest command is the target that we're missing, our love to God and others. And so when we sin, we're missing that target. So especially when you think about it in the context of all of the commands that have been given and the books of the laws and the Torah and everything, all of those were originally based on love. So when we fail to meet those, we are failing to love. And so that's where the sin is coming from, our failure. If you think about it, think about different sins, you're failing to love somebody, either God or yourself or others. And so we like to villainize one sin over another. And if we see someone sinning in that specific way, then we try to make ourselves sound righteous and caring about the person by saying, love the sinner, hate the sin. But if you stop and think about that for a moment, what that's really doing is that we're judging their sin as greater than our sin. And otherwise, we wouldn't even need to say that thing. And I'm not calling you out. That just reminded me of this, Hayden. But it's like ridiculing an archer for missing a target by 10 feet when we missed it by 5. It's still a miss. So all misses are still misses. So I did want to think about that. Want everyone to think about that. So we have no right to judge others or think that they're worse than us or we're better than anyone, because we're still all missing that target. Anyone have any thoughts on that?
I'm just agreeing with you.
I agree in principle, but I do think there comes to that point where I said before, where the criticism out of love, sometimes people don't even realize they're missing.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's
I
true.
don't think it hurts to say, like, hey, yeah, you completely missed there, bud.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't say something when something needs to be said. I'm saying the heart of it is that we shouldn't be judging them or thinking ourselves better than them because of it.
Yeah, no,
That's
I.
where I'm coming at.
Yeah, but also, Hayden, you're in a place where
Wait, I'm
I'm
hearing
gonna say it
double.
for myself.
Hold on.
Echo.
Hearing double.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
so Hayden, you're in a place where you can have connection with those crackheads, let's say, or the people in your friend group, the ones that like, and you're able to bring up that criticism to them because you can have the rapport with people.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a blessing to be able to have these testimonies and being able to be in that unique situation as yours. Just like I'm unique in my own situation. Like I guess I have the ability to bring out people's personal stories because I won't stop asking people questions. So people just open up to me, and like I've had depression and I've learned a way to like get out of it, or at least tolerate it and work to the point where I can be a functioning adult, you know. But there's a lot of people here in Final Fantasy that this is their life, you know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, there's a whole lot of them that cannot be functioning adults.
Yeah, but I still have a way to like reach out to them, even in their sadness and in their pain, because I've had that pain before and I can understand it.
Yeah. So that's one of the ways that we can love others is that we take what we've been through in our own lives that has been a great amount of pain for us and turn those ashes into beauty by helping others that are there now where you have been, and help them to come out of that the way you've come out of it. Is part of how you can be living missionally in your life, is by taking your pain and turning it into a mission and a passion. Yeah, that's good. Anyone have anything else to say? Those were the only two questions that I was gonna open it up to other people.
As I like to say, when it comes to people and judging, as Jesus put, one should always judge righteously. It's a problem when someone's just basically doing that. Oh, you're just basically just doing it just to put someone down and not trying to do it to basically help someone.
Yeah.
Because at some point, we all basically say, look at this guy doing something that is wrong, like beating his kid for no reason, or doing other stuff that God will find out for. But it would be wrong to say that we shouldn't judge. It's more of when you're just being a hypocrite, like saying, oh, look at him cheating on his wife, and look at him, basically, and just trying to put him down while he's doing other stuff, like practically the same thing. And I think that's something that is more of what we need to say. It's rather than, oh, you shouldn't say anything at all, just more do it from the heart of trying to help someone.
Right.
Tell them that, look, you're doing wrong with, I'm just trying to tell this to help you, not to try to put you down and say that you're beneath.
Yeah, the heart needs to be in the right place, and it also need to think of when to say something and when not to, because if you, like, for example, well, if it's the example of somebody's beating their kid and they're being violent and the kid's in danger, then yes, definitely do something about that. If it's
more as
something... What?
I was thinking more of like abusing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they're abusing their kid, then do something to help the kid. But if it's, for example, somebody is... There's this term called swoop and poop. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of this term, but it's used in design a lot, where somebody who's unrelated will come in and look at a design, and they don't know anything about the context, anything about the goals of that design, anything about the problem that design is solving, and they'll just come in and they'll swoop in and they'll criticize, not critique. They'll criticize it, and they'll say all kinds of things with zero context at all, and then they'll just fly away. It's called the swoop and poop. And we can do that in people's lives too, when we don't have any context of where they are right now, and we don't know anything about what's going on in their lives, where they're coming from. And I'm not talking about the abuse, I'm talking about other things. For example, someone who's doing drugs. We don't know where they've been, we don't know how they got where they are. Yes, we want to help those people, but are they going to listen to us if they don't know anything about us and we haven't built a relationship with them? We have to build a relationship with people and earn respect from them before we can truly help them. And that's why you build relationships with people. So instead of swooping and pooping on something that you don't know what's going on, you have to build relationships so that you can help each other and that will listen to each other.
It should be a sweeping off their feet and freeing.
Yeah, not instead of
Sweep and
pooping.
free.
Yeah.
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 Leg sweep into the poop?
No, don't do that.
We gotta clean up the poop somehow.
Cleaning poop with a broom is a bad idea. That's gonna get
Oh,
Well, it depends on the poop. If it's
Wow.
goat poop, different story.
and now we're on to the subject of poop.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
we started it.
It's my fault.
That's okay. We forgive you.
Thank you. She said poop in the church.
You say poop. It's a cute way of saying it, though. The whole swoop and poop.
Yeah. So, did y'all have questions for us? Me? Anything?
Oh, seemed pretty straightforward.
So, did you have questions about anything else? Or about the last service or anything?
I have a question for everyone sitting around here.
Yeah. go.
Where have we experienced God's love this week? Like, where have you seen His love at work? In a tangible way that you can express.
Well, I have seen His love in my life this week. So I'm still in this transitional stage in life, trying to figure out where I'm trying to build a business for myself and a spot for myself in the XR community. And I had a call with somebody this week talking about a community start calling up VR companies and interviewing them about games they've made. And that'd be a side thing that I do for money. That is something that I could totally geek out on, and the fact that God opened that opportunity up for me. Pretty cool that He cares that I geek out about that stuff. And that I would enjoy that. So that's how, the fact that He cares enough about things that make us happy.
Yeah, recognizes
bring
you and what
those-
you're doing.
To bring those things into our lives. Yeah.
Yeah. Praise Jesus. Well, for me, I had an instance this week where there's this one dude who's like a mutual friend, and I didn't really know much about him other than he was just another dude in the VC that for the raid call. It was just kind of like he'd be chatting about them, and I just didn't know anything. And recently he like sent me it just came out of the conversation where we're like, what do we all look like, kind of thing. And so he sent me a picture of him, and he was like, yeah, I'm ugly. And it's like, what? You're not ugly. He's like a 19-year-old, and like just looking at his photo, like I wouldn't call him ugly, not even in the slightest. But then as the conversation went on, it turns out that he's been struggling a lot, and like had a recent breakup, and he's in a lot of pain. And people in his life called him ugly all the time. And and I was just there just talking to him and listening to him, and I guess I was able to recognize that my own, even though I like to make fun of my own ability to talk to people, or I have a tendency to bring up personal questions way too much. It's useful in situations that it helps people be able to open up when they have a question to, branch off of,
Yeah.
and sometimes they just need to talk.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I've been called ugly a lot, so I started believing it growing up and in my early adult life, so I can totally relate. I hate pictures of myself, and I hate sharing pictures of myself. That's one of the reasons. So, yeah, I can relate to that.
I had an interesting moment of serendipity last night, I guess. Really off guard. So I was watching one. I felt completely compelled to watch this movie just out of nowhere yesterday. It's this movie called Merlin from 1998, and it's like 6 hours long.
I think I remember it, maybe?
Yeah, it's a really long movie with shoddy special effects. But anyways, the whole moral of the story of the movie is it's this thing of counteracting revenge with revenge, going back and how things just get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
I'm just like sitting there pondering the story as it happens. And I get a text from my brother who I don't talk to. Do not like this guy. And he's like, "Hey, I want to smooth things over." I was like,
Wow.
That's an odd chain of events to happen at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. God trying to tell you something there.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I was like, that's too odd of two things to happen exactly at the same time.
Yeah. I think it's pretty interesting that God can speak to us through anything. We just have to pay attention and listen. He can talk to us through anything.
Oh, we got Toru.
Huh?
Toru had sent something.
Okay. Let's see. So I'm okay, but I've battled with depression and anxiety for almost my whole life. So my brain wasn't being the nicest to me, and it was really cool that in my quiet moments in the morning before work, when I read my Bible or pray, the scriptures I was reading was saying how those with gentle and quiet spirits are precious in God's sight. Two characteristics I identify with in real life. But it was a big encouragement to me, and I felt like in those moments God really was caring for me and elevating. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, he does. He likes the gentle, quiet spirits because that's actually how he works. So you're actually reflecting his characteristics by being gentle and quiet. Did anyone else have any questions or anything?
Nah, I don't.
I can see Chris is absolutely present because he's looking around, not saying anything.
I am present, yes.
All right. So if you do have questions later about anything, about church in general, about the MMO church in general, that later that you think of, you can ask in Discord later if you want, or now if you have any now.
So we have. So they're new.
I don't
Is
know.
someone talking?
Yeah,
Sir.
I didn't.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh,
I think it's really funny how Phoebe's sitting in the soup right now.
It keeps me warm.
Get basted.
Hmm.
I did want to add, I feel like this was a much better process than the previous ones.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's much more meaningful.
Yeah.
And we don't care that the time has went by. I
Oh
hope-
yeah,
I hope-
almost did an hour.
Yeah. So I like this better. It was less stressful for me too. Having to deal with all the things. So that's better for me. And so again, for the people that are watching later, because I am recording this, so let me know if there's anything that you want to cut out of the video that I put up later on. But some of the ways that we work to build community here is that we hang out in Discord voice and chat whether we're in game or not. And if you're in our Discord or our cross-world link shell, we like to ping each other when we need help with content. And so if anyone's available when you ping, then we'll hop in and help if we are available to do so. We have to think twice on RMVille, though. We have to think twice on that one. The other stuff, RMVille, worst dungeon in the game. But we will if you really, really need help. That we also have a weekly scheduled play sessions. We got the Thursdays at 10 Eastern. We did change the time to 10 a.m. Eastern, and we decide what to do based on who shows up. And then on Saturdays, right after these meetings, we have more structured things like raids or mount farming. Today we're doing tombstone farming. But I also want to ask those who are here, would it make more sense while we're still not doing every week to do third and fourth Saturday or second and fourth? I like that Chris is humming right now. Or what's easier for y'all to remember?
I think the every other. Seems
Yeah, every other.
How about you, Toro? Is what feels... Do I have that? I need to see if I have that. Nope, I don't
You
have
have
it
to go
on
through
her.
like is it the Warring Triad? Is that what the?
I think so.
Oh, I've got it on my main. Not on her. Not on Coco. Okay. I haven't done it on Coco. I have it on Aviva though. So do y'all think every other... Okay, wait. So Toro, I'm okay with anything. Usually free Saturdays, just can't make Thursday. Okay. Yeah, most people can't make Thursday because they have lives.
Yeah, lives. I mean, this Thursday I can because I have a 4-day weekend.
Oh,
so
nice.
I can drop in
Nice.
if I decide to say, wake up in time. I like to sleep in my days off, but I'll wake up for you.
Oh,
guys.
yeah, I know. I like to sleep in, and then Chris wanted early morning people.
I just suggested doing it a couple hours earlier, that's all.
Sure.
What was it, like 12 p.m. Eastern?
No, it was 11 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
11:30, 11 a.m. p.m. would have been fine.
Oh, p.m. Yeah, a.m.
a.m. So every other Saturday okay for everyone? Or...
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to figure out how to do that in the Discord calendar thing. But anyway. So then, if that's the case, then our next one will be two Saturdays from now. So anyway, and as I mentioned earlier, we are just getting started, and when we have our official launch, we're going to need people to help. So if you'd like to officially volunteer, we're going to need people to help run our services. And if we try this version, it may not be as difficult. I don't know how hard it's going to get once we actually officially launch and more people start coming, hopefully. We may we have to figure that out. But we will need people to help. So if you would like to officially help, then that would be good. And I do want it so that we have enough people so that not everyone is having to do something every service, so you don't burn out. We just have a nice. This is really funny watching everyone hump right now. But if you'd like to help, you can submit a ticket in the Discord and the tickets channel. It's under the information section. And if you have any prayer requests, we have a prayer request channel in the Discord, or you can type it in game and say. Because we do like to pray for each other. Okay, so Toro's asking help we're looking for. Well, we were asking for chat typists, but that seems to be an issue. Yoshi P has an issue with us transcribing our stuff. Yeah, so we may
Take care,
not.
Dexter. Good luck.
Bye, Dexter. We may not be able to do anything with that. Then we are still figuring things out. So if you have ideas, that is also welcome.
I got a challenge for everyone.
Okay.
I challenge everyone to invite one of your friends in Final Fantasy this. Because I know you all have friends out there.
I invite friends all the time.
Like, two.
Like your crackheads, Hayden. I think you.
Oh,
Wait, are you in here still, or did you say it BRB, or did you come back? Or was that Chris?
Who was that? That was Hayden. Okay.
That was me.
Oh, it was you? Okay.
Oh, Hayden said BRB.
Yeah, Hayden. Yeah. Well, Chris, you have crackhead friends too, right?
No. Actually, no.
Potheads?
No.
Drunks?
What? What?
Fellow cat boys?
Fellow cat boys.
Yeah, you got fellow cat
Oh,
boys. Come on.
yeah.
Come on.
Actually, no.
Shh, whatever.
What about, how are you gonna love Lalas this week, Chris?
Am I gonna what?
Love Lalas this week.
Yeah.
You have to love everyone, Chris. How are you gonna love
Yes.
Lala Phils?
Come on.
Well, I do love a good baked potato.
Come on.
I'm talking about God's love, not human love.
Well,
Patting her on the head. That sounded really hard.
Good,
Yeah,
good,
that was-
good job. Good job. Yay.
That did.
Okay, so I'm gonna close out the service in prayer if you don't have anything else. And thank you, Father, for everyone who's here today, everyone who's gonna watch this later on video. And please bless everyone and meet them exactly where they are in their lives and show them your love in a way that they will feel and that they will know that you are there with them, watching them and care for them. And you love them exactly where they are. Please help us to, and remind us to be able to love others the way that you love us in our everyday lives, here in game, outside of the game. Just thank you again for this opportunity for us to gather together in game, in this platform that so many people come to who need community, who need love, who need to not feel lonely and need to be loved the way that they are without looking at our external appearances. It's a great platform for that. Thank you so much for giving us this platform. In Jesus' name, amen.